I'm Mary's son, Darius. I want to share with you today the fact that our Bible and our Quran is based on a number system. Okay, and I know you read the Bible many times, but did you ever notice or pay attention to the fact that next to each sentence is a number? It's a number next to it. We usually don't number our sentences when we're writing stuff. We don't do that. And the fact that each sentence is numbered should tell us that it's trying to put us in a certain place. Okay, one with one, two with two, three with three. So I said that to say, okay, that Genesis, okay, 1 and 1 consists of 10 words. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Okay, that's 10 words. Now, those 10 words, okay, represents also our 10 digits, okay, which means we are one complete circuit inside of us, inside eyes, in your eyes, inside you. God created the heavens and the earth. Okay, your mind, your mind is what lets you know about God and the devil. Your mind tells you about that. See, your intellect inside you. So I said that to say that our Bible has a mathematical code. In the mathematical code, okay, you have to stick with the number. That's how you know what part of the book you're referring to, and you know who you're referring to. Okay, for example, um, chapter 1, verse 1, all right, consists of 10 words. So from there, I would say that each verse of your 31 verses of chapter 1 represents one chapter. One chapter. Each verse represents one chapter. So verse 1 represents chapter 1. Verse 2 represents chapter 2. Verse 3 represents chapter 3. Okay? So if you read your story or you go over our scriptures like this in this manner, you will have a clearer story in order to base your reference off instead of being pushed and pulled and not knowing which way you're going. Okay. Um, it's a reason why they have the numbers right next to each sentence. Okay. That's not accidental. That was done by design. All right. No one wants to tell you this. No one's going to say this. But I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'm Mary's son. Now, if we follow the verses through to 31 as I suggested, then you will find yourself somewhere, okay, in chapter 31 in Genesis. And Genesis in chapter 31 is speaking about, let's see, one, it is speaking of an agreement with Laban, okay, and that's verse 31, agreement, all right, but 31 doesn't, it ends said chapter 1, but if you go to chapter 2, you could see that it's a continuation from chapter 1. And the reason why I'm saying it's a continuation from chapter 1 because it starts with thus the heavens and the earth were finished. So this is a finish, but it is also a continuation telling you exactly what happened with the heavens and the earth and all the host of them. So it's taking you back up. Number 2 is taking you back up. Okay? All right. And once you read that, you'll see that 31 continues on, all right, into chapter 2 with thus the heavens and the earth were finished and all the host of them. Then your 30 or your second verse in chapter 2 will be your new number 1. Okay? But it wouldn't be your number 1 only because you still got a continuation. And it say on the seventh day, God ended all his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day. Okay? From all his work which he had made. So now this is saying that the work is finished. Now the work is finished. See, first we had up here in the first chapter in 31, we said that it was all good and evening morning was the sixth day. But that wasn't the end of everything because right down here in chapter 2, he ends all of his work from what he was doing at the top and he rested. So now it's a blessing coming down. So after all his work is done, it's a blessing. So now the blessing comes in chapter, in verse 3 of chapter 2. But like we was just saying, that we have to follow each verse, and each verse represents a chapter. So now we would go to verse 2 and see what happens in verse 2. And it says, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, is that true? Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And God rested, and on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. So this would be the exact same quotation, the exact same verses, the exact same references. So now that's what we would do. We will follow our Bible out just like this. And if we follow it out like this, we're going to end up at a very special place. And I'm going to take you because we've got to go through this just so you know. All right. So we go to chapter 33. I'm at chapter 32 because we just went to 33, 31. Now we're going to go to chapter 32. Okay. Now let's see what happens in chapter 32. Lebanon makes a covenant with Jacob. All right. So the Spirit of God was over Jacob and it was over Lebanon. All right. And then it said, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which God had created and made. Now, all right. So within everything, Jacob now comes to, Esau comes to meet Jacob. All right. So in chapter 33 of our Bible in Genesis, this is where they meet. And they meet. This is where God rests at, 33. So you want to know the knowledge of God, you go to the three. Okay? This is where his information rests at in the light. Right? So now we go to chapter 33. And what do we find at 33? It represents the light of God. All right. Chapter 33 of the Bible, you run into a name, El Elohim, he is Israel. All right. And that's where I end at today. Chapter 33 in Genesis and verse 20. El Elo, he is Israel. That is what we need to know. That's where we started. I am Mary's son. Oh, and the name El Elohim is not scary to us because that's the name that Jesus called upon